All right, Reg. I have a topic that was presented to me by a very good friend of mine. Shout out to F1. Does T.I. have a classic rap album?
Yeah, yeah. T.I. absolutely does have a classic rap album.
Which album is that?
I think his classic is Trap Music.
I did not expect that from you.
Yeah, that's his classic. That's not my favorite T.I. album.
I know. We know. I don't want to talk
Yeah,
favorites. I want to talk about class. Like I didn't because Trap Music is my favorite T.I. album.
yeah,
So that's why I'm like shocked.
yeah. Nah,
So wow.
that's his classic. I think that's his classic album. My favorite T.I. album is Urban Legend. That's my favorite.
All right. So for me, King is his classic album. Trap Music, Urban Legend, and then King in that order are my favorite T.I. albums in that order, right? Where Trap Music is first, Urban Legend is second, King is third. But I think that me being analytical, looking at what I asked for a classic rap album, I would put King in that category, right? So I'm gonna tell you what F1, aka his real name's Raquan, but we call him F1, that's his nickname, right? So his argument is that T.I. has two classic albums, and that's Urban Legend and it's King. He says that the difference between them is that kind of similar to what Nas did with Illmatic and It Was Written. Like where one album is more of like for the streets and more like underground, right? And then the second project is a crossover project.
Yeah.
And it has that appeal. And he says that even though like King might be the album that like is more worldly and like can like get spread more to the masses and has like the bigger hits. He says that Trap Music, he acknowledges that it's like kind of like encapsulated in time, but he thinks that album is still a classic. So my argument to Quan is that you can't call an album, in my opinion, you can't call an album a classic if it doesn't transcend time. That's to me, like that's like that's the main part of what a classic is.
Yeah.
It has to transcend time. And I think that for Urban Legend, I think that album was great and is very top heavy. I think that Urban Legend, like towards the end of the album, it kind of dips off for me.
Okay.
And that was like my argument. And I feel like with Trap Music, there's like great songs, but then there's some skips. But I love that album. Like when I moved to Atlanta, that was one of the first albums. Shout out to my boy Justin. I'm giving shout outs all day in this episode. Shout out to my boy Justin. He really introduced me to T.I. and really explained to me why T.I. was, at that time, he was like, T.I. gonna be like Jay-Z, how Jay-Z is to y'all. And I was like, really, Jay? And he was like, yes. And like
Swiss Beats was the one that coined him the Jay-Z of the South.
Right. And but you want to know what Swiss Beats got that from my boy Justin? Because Justin said it first.
So to going back to what your boy F1 said about like one being an album that crosses over and then the other one being an album that sticks to the streets, I think Trap Music encapsulates both of those sides of T.I. because you got songs like Let's Get Away, you got Doing My Job, you got 24, you got Rubber Band Man. That's all on that album. And I think he did a good job with not compromising his sound, but also just tweaking it just a little bit to where it can be pushed. And I think that was the album that did that for him. A lot of people would say Paper Trail was a great representation of that too.
Yeah.
Because one, it was the time frame where you had him going to jail and coming back and putting out an album like that. And then having Swagger Like Us, which, you know, a lot of people say didn't age as well.
Right.
It was still that's still a big moment.
Yeah.
Having the song with Rihanna and having Whatever You Like and like all these big songs on there, but then you got I'm Illy on there and you got these hood anthems on there mixed with the crossover appeal. I think T.I. got really conscious of blending both sides of his personality.
Right. It's very funny because if you think about it, there could be an argument that T.I. has one of the best 5 album runs like ever.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we didn't even mention T.I. versus T.I.P., right? And like that was like a big deal. Remember, that was, I want to say T.I. versus T.I.P., but it was like in between King and T.I. versus T.I.P., American Gangster came out. So he was at his height. He was
on there, yeah.
And like it was Takers, American Gangster. Like he was like at his like powers. Like, and then like his show came out. Like, he was huge. And
This Christmas came out around then.
he wasn't in This Christmas. That was Chris Brown.
Oh yeah,
T.I. wasn't in there.
right,
But
wrong light skin.
wrong light skin nigga. But again, like I said, like he really, really like was on top of the world, and you know now he got dreads, and like you know he's more like he's doing stand up comedy and shit. But long story short, F1, like I did this episode for you. My bad, I didn't invite you up, but we talked about it, we discussed it. I'm pretty sure you're gonna go crazy in the comments, my dude.
And I have said it before on record. T.I. in 2006 was the best rapper alive. In 2006, you can look it up. You can look up who was active that year. I've done my due diligence. Best rapper in 2006 is T.I.
Well, watchers, let us know what you think in the comments. Dun dun.